Morning. We'll get started. Welcome to Planning the Next Chapter in Your Story, sponsored by Woodcrest Villa, a Mennonite Home Community. My name is Rick Myers. I'm going to be the facilitator today. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. Let's hold all our questions till the end, write them down, and you can either text them to 717-405-4082. That's 717-405-4082. Or you can do on your computer screen where it says more at the top. You click on more and it has chat. You can write your questions in there and we'll do those at the end. So with that, we'll head to Craig Hartcraft. Craig is a Lancaster County native. He has mastered the art of real estate. I can attest to his work because I've bought a house from his team and he's helped me with clients in the past selling homes. The other thing about Craig is he's a new grandparent and he's enjoying his granddaughter. With that, we'll let you start, Craig.
Well, thank you very much, Rick, and thank you, Woodcrest, for allowing me to share some information about the real estate market and answer any general questions you might have. Let me share my strength. Okay, can you see the screen here, Rick?
Yes, we can.
Okay, again, thank you very much for allowing me to give you a little update on the real estate market and answer any questions you might have. Some of the topics I would like to cover this morning is how realtors do represent buyers and sellers in this market. How do homeowners price their properties to sell? How to sell your home safely in today's environment, and how to prepare your home to sell. And then we'll talk about home inspections, whose responsibility it is to have a home inspection. Is it the buyer or is it the seller? And then share with you other options homeowners have to sell their property. So those are the topics we're going to be reviewing this morning. So first of all is, how do the realtors represent buyers and sellers? If you would go the traditional way and hire a realtor to represent you in listing your home, they would be your agent representing you. When there's a buyer interested to purchase your home, if that buyer would be working directly with your listing agent, that's called dual agency. So that means the realtor's representing you and the realtor's representing the buyer. At that point, the realtor's hands are tied and they cannot be sharing any confidential information with either party involved. That means the realtor can't give you any recommendations in the negotiations. So that's called dual agency. In some states, that's not legal practice. You have the right to have your realtor only represent you as a designated agent, and the buyer would be represented by another agent called a designated agent. If that's the case, then your realtor can be representing you 100% through the real estate transaction. So if you are interviewing realtors to help you sell your property, one of the questions I would recommend you ask them is, do they practice dual agency? If they do, my professional opinion, you should have a concern there, because again, if you're hiring a realtor to represent you, you want them to be representing you 100% through the transaction. So that is a question to ask your realtor when you're interviewing. Pricing your home to sell. There's really three values out there in the real estate market. The first value is what's called the appraised value. And the appraised value is done by a certified appraiser. Typically, the person that hires that appraiser is your buyer's lender. So if your buyer is getting a mortgage, more than likely the mortgage company will require an appraisal. So the lender will order an appraisal, and a certified appraiser would come out to the property. They have a certain criteria they have to follow and a formula they have to follow, or the bank would kick back that appraisal. So that's the first value. The second value is what's called market value. And market value really depends on the supply and demand in the real estate market. Market value can be the same as appraised value. It can be higher than appraised value, or it could be less than appraised value. In today's market, right now, we are seeing market value higher than appraised value, and that can create some issues. Depends on what type of financing the buyer is obtaining and how much a down deposit they're putting. If the home does not appraise for the sales price, then the buyer will need to come up with the difference. If they can't come up with the difference, then that could possibly risk the home sale to go through. But there's a variety of ways we can help you try to negotiate with your buyer to still be able to purchase the home if the home does not appraise. And then the third value is your value as a homeowner. Typically, homeowners have a goal in mind. They're saying, okay, I want to net X amount of dollars out of my property. So as a realtor, we take those three values under consideration when we're counseling you on the pricing of your property. We talked about supply and demand. A healthy real estate market is typically if there's 6 months of inventory on the market. Right now, you'll see in this chart, since August, we did an update in the past 12 months. The supply and demand in the Mid-Atlantic region, this covers Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, and New Jersey. The supply on the market right now is less than 1.5 months. So again, a healthy market, 6 months. What does this mean? This means there's a low supply on the market and there's a high demand out there. You may have talked to relatives, neighbors, and about the real estate market and hear stories that they have multiple buyers bidding on their property. They're getting above list price. That's because there is a lack of supply on the market right now. What does that mean for home values? Again, in the Mid-Atlantic region, you're going to see in the past 12 months how the values have been going up. The median sales price has been going up. And again, that is because there's a lack of supply on the market and there's a high demand out there. This is a big question since COVID appeared here, is how can you sell your home safely? We have some homeowners, they're very, very concerned of putting their home on the market and having strangers coming through the property. They want to make sure they're being safe throughout the showing process. So there's a variety of ways we can handle it. Here are a couple other options we have used. When we were shut down in the state of Pennsylvania, when COVID started, we were not allowed to show a property to a home buyer for 2.5 months. In those 2.5 months, we were surprised. We still sold approximately 40 homes in those 2.5 months on our team without showing one property. And one of the ways we did it is we used Zoom for showings. We had some agents will use what's called a 3D tour. That you can take a tour of the property. We have had some people do a FaceTime. Like we as realtors weren't allowed to go into the property, but the homeowners used FaceTime and then walk through the property and showed the property to the buyers. And then the traditional showings, we can still limit the amount of people coming through the property, stagger the showings, request them to wear masks. So again, selling a home in today's market can be done safely. Preparing your home to sell is very important for you to maximize the sales price of the property. You may have heard the term stagers in the past. Some realtors will provide that service to you free of charge. That's just part of their services, where they'll have a third party coming in to take a look at your property. It's not saying they're going to be putting new furniture in. They may just be repositioning furniture, maybe making some recommendations to reposition the furniture also. We always joke around how important it is to have a clean home. Look at here, there's two vehicles, same model. Which vehicle would you focus on in making an offer? It's the same as the real estate. The cleaner you can have your home, the better it's going to appear, and the buyers are going to get more excited about your property. Some hints we share with you on preparing your home to sell is try to depersonalize your property. Try to remove personal items, family photos. And again, a couple of family photos are fine. It's just if you have like one wall that's completely a shrine of the family, again, we sometimes would recommend to remove those. And then maximize the space. As I mentioned, the stager will sometimes recommend to declutter, remove some pieces of furniture, or rearrange those pieces of furniture. Neutralize. This is very, very crucial. When people are looking at your home, they're looking at other properties. If you're just starting the process and another year you'll be selling your property, my recommendation is just contact the realtor that you're going to be working with and ask them, can you send me homes that are for sale presently? And then you can go through and look at the photos of those properties so you will know what your competition is doing. The competition, they're using those stagers, they're taking these tips. So again, just having the realtor send you a list of properties that are presently active or have sold, and you'll see what the competition is doing. And what again they'll be doing is keeping the house neutralized, modernized, and keeping it very clean. Inspections. When a buyer makes an offer on your home, they do have the right to put in the agreement to have an inspection done. If the buyer puts that contingency in the agreement, that would be the cost to the buyer if they're making a contingent on this inspection. Typically, it will allow anywhere from 10 to 21 days for those inspections. In state of Pennsylvania, if they do elect a home inspection, you allow that to happen. At any time during that inspection contingency, if they don't like anything, they can void the contract and get their deposit money back. If you ever heard the term buyer's remorse, a lot of times people will use this inspection contingency to void the contract, and that can really hurt you as a homeowner, that your home is under contract and now falls through because the buyer's got buyer's remorse, or there was a surprise that came up in the inspections. Something we've been recommending to our sellers for the last 10 years that has been very beneficial is to consider having an inspection done before you put the home on the market. We call that a pre-listing home inspection. Depends on where you live, that cost can be anywhere from $400 to $600. My professional opinion, that would be probably the best $400 to $600 you could ever spend. And I'll explain to you why. Buying a home is very emotional to buyers. They make an offer on your home, you accept their offer. Their excitement level, I call it, is the honeymoon stage. They're all excited that you accepted their offer. They go back to family and friends and tell them the great news that they just bought a home. Well, those family members and friends start sharing war stories with them. Oh, you paid too much for the home. You made a decision too fast. Did you check this? Did you check that? Now the buyer is going to go through buyer's remorse. So they go from up here down to here. And again, that's buyer's remorse. Well, if they elected to have a home inspection done, there's a good chance they're going to be very unrealistic on their expectation and expect a brand new home. So they may come back to you with a long list of repairs that could be thousands and thousands of dollars, or they try to renegotiate a price, or the worst part is they may just void the contract. But by you as a seller taking the initiative and having the home inspection done up front, now by law, you have to share with them any defects you're aware of the home. But we joke here on our team, sometimes we feel like we're a psychologist more than a realtor. And what I mean by that, if we have that inspection done and we go to the buyer and say, the seller took the initiative and had a home inspection done, and they would like you to have a copy of this home inspection before you would make an offer on the property. Remember, that buyer is in the honeymoon stage. They're not in the buyer's remorse. So they're rational people. So you give them a copy of the home inspection. There could be some repairs that are needed on that home inspection. But again, they're rational people and they look at it. We have found over 50% of the buyers will waive their inspections because you took the initiative to have the home inspected. They're again in the right frame of mind. They're looking at it. They don't have unrealistic expectations. This has saved our sellers $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in negotiations by spending $400 to $600. And again, because there's a lack of supply in the market and there's such a demand, we helped this young lady. She was 92 years old and still living in a home by herself. She was still doing the yard work by herself with the property. And she took our advice, had the home inspected. It needed a new roof. She had water in the basement. There was some mold growing in the lower level. So she was all concerned, okay, we had this inspection. Now no one's will want to buy our home. We had 8 offers on her home. We provided that inspection report to all 8 buyers. And all 8 buyers waived their home inspection and didn't ask her to do a thing. So it was because she took the initiative, had the information provided to the buyer, so the buyers then could make a decision saying, okay, we can take that under advisement when we're making an offer. In that particular situation, she had a bidding war and she got $52,000 above list price. So again, taking the initiative and having the inspection is huge. If there's the one thing you're going to take away from this webinar, I would say this would be the #1 thing to consider to help you save money and make it more of a seamless transaction for you. There are a variety of different home sale options out there, and this is starting to become more and more popular out there. You may be seeing signs out there where people are saying, I'll buy your home for cash. Call us, we'll make you an offer and settle in 7 days. Those people we call are flippers. And what they're doing is they're trying to buy your home wholesale, fix it up, and then make a profit off your home. But there's other programs out there that are more competitive other than your traditional home sale. There's a company out there, Quick Buy, that we work with at Berkshire Hathaway, where they will come in and give you an idea of an offer they would make you before you even list the home. And if you like that offer, you don't list your property with us, they'll come in and basically there will be no showings. I mean, other buyers, it would just, their representative would come through, no home prep, and they would settle within 14 days. Or they'll say, here's the price we would purchase your home for, but you try to get the maximum price. And we'll give you our offer for 150 days. It will stay on the table. So you have 150 days to try to get the highest offer possible. And for some reason, the market's not accepting your property, this company will still purchase your home at that price they shared with you up front. Another program they offer is what's called sell and stay leaseback. Well, they'll purchase your property and let you lease back for 1 year. Because some sellers are very stressed. They don't want to declutter their homes. They don't want to depersonalize their home. It's a very overwhelming process. So this third party came in and offering this to our clients. So there's a variety of different options for you as a homeowner to make this stress-free and make this a seamless move for you when you make that decision. And if you have any other questions if you're like me, you probably, after the webinar, think of additional questions. My website is lancasterhome.com. My phone number's there and my email address. So feel free to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And if you want an update of your community, for example, you're not ready to sell for another year or 2 years, we have homeowners, what we'll do is we'll just put them an automated email once a week or once a month. We'll send them an update of activity in their neighborhood just to keep you informed what's taking place out there in the marketplace. So you can just shoot me an email. Any questions, Rick?
No questions yet. Why don't you just give a little update of what you're seeing in the Philadelphia and Lancaster markets?
With the supply issue being low, we're still seeing a very strong market. And again, typically, if the home is priced properly and is in really nice condition, typically we're seeing multiple offers on the property. And I'm glad you asked that question, Rick. It's very important how your realtor goes about exposing your home on the market, how they're handling multiple offers. We have seen some situations where we just shake our head and just say, well, they left a lot of money on the table, where the homeowner will put the home on the market. They'll get a full price offer within less than 24 hours. And the realtor will present the offer to them, and then it's sold. And the homeowner's happy, they got full price, but they accepted the offer too quick. What we recommend to our sellers is we typically put our homes on the market. Typically, well, you may have seen coming soon out there, signs with saying this home's coming on the market soon. So typically how we market our properties is we put a property on the market on a Monday saying coming soon, but we're not allowing any showings on this property until Thursday. And the reason we're doing that, we're trying to monitor the demand for that property. So we have over half a dozen showings set up for showings after Thursday. We recommend to our seller to share with the buyers, when we go on the market on Thursday, we are not reviewing any contracts until the following Monday. So you're giving enough time for those buyers to come through, so you can look at more than one offer if the market's going to have a good response to your property. So be very careful just not to accept the first offer that comes by. You want to give enough time for the buyers that come through your property so you can pick from more than one offer.
Craig, we had a question from Ann. She asked about, what about the York area?
York is very strong also. I belong to some national networks and local networks of realtors, Tri-County, and then again, all over the country. And believe it or not, we all know one area that has a bad market. It's just, I've been doing this for 32 years and we have never seen a market like this. So York County is very strong.
Another question, Craig, is in the past, there was kind of an ideal time to put your home on the market. And my understanding, that has kind of changed now with the internet and how people are shopping.
That is correct. There's never a bad time to put your home on the market. For example, going in towards the holidays, there's some people, they need to sell their properties. They can't wait till the following spring. And we always share with them, the benefit to them is there's not as much inventory going into the holidays or into the winter months. So you have less competition. So as a homeowner, you're benefiting from some of the folks that may think back in the past that, well, we'll wait for the spring, we'll wait for the spring. Well, again, there's such a strong demand. Putting the home on the market anytime throughout the year is not a bad time, especially again, going into the holiday season and the winter, because there's more lack of inventory, but there's that strong demand.
I think it's great with the internet too. People are always searching real estate during the day at work, looking or in the evening to see what's out there.
Well, we're very busy with showings between Christmas and New Year's because everyone's off. They had to
Yeah.
take their vacation and they had nothing better to do. So they're out there starting to look, and then all of a sudden the emotions take over and they weren't really planning to buy a home, but they found the perfect property and they purchased it.
Just another question, Craig. Talk a little bit about the importance of a good realtor. I think a lot of people don't understand how a realtor can make or break you. A lot of times people try to go with family members or friends and forget about this is a business, and you really need to have the person looking out for you and help you with negotiations and be respected in the industry. So just talk about that for a few minutes, Craig.
I think experience is very, very important. And sometimes they say experience is a number of years in the business, and that's not really true. Experience is how many transactions are you doing year after year after year? If you're in the business for 25 years, the average realtor only sells 8 homes a year. That's an experience. That's an experience. You really want to interview a realtor that at least doing over 50 home sales a year. If they're doing 50 home sales a year, they're in tune with the market, and they can give you the best advice during that period of time. So again, there's a variety of different ways realtors work. There's some realtors that only work by themselves, and we call them one-man shop, and they can do a great job. And there's other realtors like myself have decided to have the team approach, where we have different agents and different staff people that work on particular parts of the transaction to provide the best service and making sure nothing drops through the cracks. So again, in personality, you have to feel comfortable with the folks. But number one question is really asking them, how many home sales have they had in the past 12 months? And you really want to find someone that has sold over 50 transactions, because that experience is so crucial. I always share, if you have to have a surgery and you're interviewing the doctor, and you had one doctor that did 8 surgeries last year, and you had another doctor that did 250 surgeries last year, which one would you be more comfortable with if something would go wrong halfway through the surgery? You're going to feel more comfortable with the person that do 250 surgeries a year. They have that knowledge. More than likely, a situation does arise, they had that experience in the past to be able to handle that situation.
Any other questions? This is also a great time to sell your home. Woodcrest Villa here has some opportunities for immediate openings. So if you sold something, we had something you can move in temporarily while you wait for something else. That's a great option. I would really encourage you to talk to our sales team here at Woodcrest Villa about options here. And availability. And we've got some special assessments going on. So please give them a call. And we've got their contact information up here. I know we've got Lori on the call here, and I'm not sure if I know BA had a 9 o'clock appointment, so I wasn't sure if she was going to make it or not, but we're glad to have them here. Also, this recording will be available. So if you request to Woodcrest Villa, we'll get this recording out to you. Craig, thank you for everything you've shared. It really is important. I think that one of the most important things is having the right realtor to sell your home, even in a good economy. And also what we'll be talking about next week, freedom from your stuff and how we get rid of our things to make our homes presentable to sell. And that is very overwhelming. And next week, Margaret Novak will be speaking to us. She had founded Moving Solutions as a company to help people move. And she has also used her services and moved into a retirement community and could talk about that. And she's also written a book about that. So she'll be willing to share that with us. Just also, we wanted to remind you, if you attend all 4 seminars, we'll put your name in a drawing for 2 free tickets to the Fulton Theater. So that's a great option there. I think we took attendance today. The only one I had a question was about, someone was on there, Galaxy, I believe. Galaxy tab 4. I don't know who you are. If you just want to put on chat your name, that would be great. And we can match it up to the attendance list we have here. Any other questions before we sign off? Well, thank you so much for being part of a Zoom. That's the new way we do business. And it was great to have you here. Have a great day and enjoy this wonderful fall weather. Be
Have a
safe.
great day.
Bye, everybody.